Good morning, everybody. We're starting with Do You Hear, number 112 in your book.
Okay, we're going to sing number 389. We are going to sing number 389. You get to hum the words. I'm sorry, that's not the right one, is it?
Yes,
it is. Gathered here. That's it.
And we're going to do it in the typical round, and you can hum whichever part you want. We're going to sing it. We're going to hum it. We're going to sing it. You're going to hum it one time through, and then we're going to do the round twice.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near.
The words calling us to worship come from beloved elder of Unitarian Universalism, the Reverend Hope Johnson, who died suddenly just this past spring.
We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence, but because we choose to journey together. We are active and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best we can.
We are one, working, eating, laughing, playing, singing, storytelling, sharing, and rejoicing, getting to know each other.
Taking risk, opening up, questioning, seeking, searching, trying to understand, struggling, making mistakes.
Paying attention, asking questions, listening, living our answers, learning to love our neighbors, learning to love ourselves,
apologizing and forgiving with humility, and being forgiven through grace.
creating the beloved community together. We are one. Let us worship.
We acknowledge that the land on which we gather as a congregation, on which we live, work, and play, was not freely given to us. We are gathered on the ancestral land of the Nutu or Ute, Apache, the Pueblos, Hopi, Zuni, and Dene Nation. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for other Native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land. As these words are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their ancestral homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. We acknowledge that our use of and benefit from this land came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land we now inhabit.
I am Katie Kandarian Morris, the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Durango. UUs gather in the spirit of covenant, meaning we need not think alike to love alike. We are a recognized, welcoming congregation. You are welcome here just as you are because of who you are. A special welcome to you if you are new. I hope that you've stopped by the welcome table, or you can do so following the service. Sign up for our email newsletter to keep in the know. Guest cards are on the chair backs, and you can fill one out and drop it in the basket as it comes by. And our connections coordinator, Shannon Beaver, serves as our online host. Welcome to everyone who has joined us in the online sanctuary. Hello, dear ones all. We are so glad you are present. Together, we make up this community. And thanks to all for your continued care in following the current guidelines for our in-person service so that we can provide as safe an environment as possible during what remains a challenging time. We wear masks, except for if we're up here speaking into the microphone. We offer distanced seating up in the mezzanine. We ask children to remain under parent supervision. We hum rather than sing to songs, and we use gestures of respect and connection other than hugs when we share the peace. And a reminder for you that next Sunday, August 29th, we won't be here in the sanctuary. We will be gathering for a Sunday worship retreat at Pine Song near Vallecito Reservoir. There will be no Zoom that day because we are out of range in order to set it up. So bring a lawn chair with you, bring your beverage, your lunch, because we'll have an all-community picnic following the service. Leading our service with me today is Bonnie Miller, our volunteer worship associate. James Mirabal is our tech director, and Lawrence Nass is our pianist, and Bonnie and Tom Miller lead our congregational music today. Greeters are Marta Snow and Susanna Jones. The theme for today's service is faith and learning. We are a learning community, always learning and growing together. If you've brought a book to give, please hand it to someone nearby you. There's either our worship associate up front or one in the back. Anna's got her hand raised. If you have a book that you're still holding on to, also some of our ushers are helping out. And we have 4 different stations, and they will take the books and put them in our stations. And later we will instruct you how to come and add them to the library. Our children's library is right up here in front. If you are joining us online, we are creating a little library outside of the sanctuary doors. So if you are able to stop by during the week, you are welcome to pick up a book or two. Actually, we have enough that you could probably take just about as many as you'd like. We'd love all the books to go home this week. During the time when we engage in the homily today, it's going to be a brief one because there is lots of room for participation. I'm going to be asking some questions for you to offer an out loud answer. Here are the questions I will be asking later that we'll consider. So you might want to think of them, either write down the questions or your answer if you're that fast. What's on your nightstand? Books is what I'm asking for, not your box of tissues. What book is on your nightstand? What was your favorite book as a child? What book most influenced you? And later, we'll be able to share those answers. Following the service, we'll have social time out on the patio and a breakout room online. For those in person, we'll have cake to celebrate our newest members. So we will not have a reflection time back in here today. We'll be celebrating together. There's a new easel and someone from a board representative who will be outside afterwards. So stop by there today to hear of new UUFD board activity. We define worship as shaping things of worth. In so doing, we create community, providing opportunities for transformation.
Please rise and body your spirit to say the words of affirmation written on the back of the service program or in the Zoom chat box. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need. For these high purposes do we unite in worship. And now is our opportunity to share the peace. So for those in person, please remain standing and find a gesture of respect to greet your neighbor. And those online, please unmute yourself and greet your neighbors.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Good morning. It's really nice to see you.
Good morning, Margaret. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hi, Jan. This is Diane.
Hi,
Hi, everyone.
greetings.
Good morning.
Hi, Dennis. Long time no see.
Hi, Dennis. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Julie. Good to see you.
Marilyn.
Shannon, hi.
Okay. We share our joys and sorrows in a ritual of candlelighting in community. If you are so moved, I invite you to offer a personal joy or sorrow, and I will light a candle for you. And if you're online, type your name in the chat. Shannon can identify you and set up an order. If you're in the sanctuary, you're welcome to come up front, and Bonnie will hold the microphone for you. And those online will get you in just a minute. We'll begin today by acknowledging a candle for the 628,000 U.S. souls who have died due to COVID. And also a candle, I'll light one for the many other concerns of our world, both the people living in Afghanistan, the human rights lost there, the loss of life in Haiti, and for the fires that continue to burn in the West. And finally, some good news, school starting again this week. So for our last candle, Let's acknowledge the many joys and sorrows and concerns that remain held quietly in our hearts. Let us hold close these silent appeals. The words today of prayer and meditation are adapted from the daily devotional This Day in Recovery, co-edited by Lane Campbell and me. Khaled Hosseini, who's an author and an Afghan refugee, writes, I wonder if that was how forgiveness budded, not with the fanfare of epiphany, but with pain gathering its things, packing up and slipping away unannounced in the middle of the night. To begin a process of forgiving and being forgiven is often painful. It means facing the pain of harm we have caused and harm we have received. Sometimes this means breaking through denial. Other times it means slowly learning more and more about the reality of what has happened to us or what we have caused. This pain does not have to last forever. Whether we make moves toward amends or we begin the spiritual healing work we need to do to forgive, there is a way forward. Spirit of life and love, help me to listen for where I have been avoiding the pain of offering forgiveness or receiving forgiveness. Let us sit together quietly for a few moments. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Amen. Ashe.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna give it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word was on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding. All the lights that lead the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonder wall. Today was gonna be the day that they never bring it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. You're my wonderwall.
I'd like to invite any children or youth here to come join me up front, sit on the rug area for our story today. Oh, it makes me so happy to see you all. So our story is called Bunny's Book Club. Bunny loved books. He loved them ever since he first heard the lady with the red glasses reading aloud outside the library. And as he listened, he imagined himself climbing mountains, captaining a ship, ruling a kingdom. But when summer ended, story time moved back inside. And he wasn't sure if animals were allowed in the library, but he was sure he couldn't live without books. Night after night, he thought about it. He had to do something, so with his flashlight, he headed out into the dark. When he reached the library door, it was locked. So were the windows. He tried digging, climbing, yanking, nothing worked. Finally, he noticed the book return. The shiny handle was far above his head, but that was no problem for a high-hopping bunny. He jumped, he climbed in, and landed inside with a thud. Bunny's eyes sparkled at the sight of the shelves bursting with books. It was better than the field full of crunchy carrots. He didn't know where to start. He took a deep breath. It smelled as if he were wrapped inside the pages of his favorite book. So he followed his nose to the adventure section. His whiskers twitching with excitement, he slipped his treasures through the book slot, one by one, balanced them on his head, and headed home. So he returned to the library each night. He searched and sneaked, then scurried back to read. Then one evening, a loud noise came on his door. "Where have you been?" asked Porcupine. "Reading," said Bunny. "Why?" said Porcupine. Bunny's eyes popped wide open. "Why, have you never been in the library?" It was time for a field trip. "Are you sure this is a good idea?" "Cool your quills, you'll make it," and pop in went Porcupine. "Whoa," said Porcupine. "I know," said Bunny. "Do you think they have books on balloons?" "Most definitely." He found his book on balloons and on deserts and dunes and caterpillars and cocoons. And when he found the hedgehog one, he just hugged it. Soon he had a stack of books, and they all went back to Bunny's. They cozied up with tea and carrot muffins and read until sunrise. One night, Bear popped in, tripping over a stack of books. "What's going on?" "Here," said Bunny, handing him a book. And Bear made room and settled in to read. And soon, lots of other curious animals joined them. They kept asking, "Hey, Bunny, do you have a book on volcanoes? How about a ghost story?" "I think it's time for a field trip." Sure enough, one by one, they all stuffed themselves through the library's book return. and found stories about all the things their hearts desired. No one heard the key in the front door. No one heard the clack, clack, clacking of footsteps. No one heard the light flick on. "What do we have here?" said the librarian. The animals looked up in shock. Bunny gasped, Porcupine gaped, and Bear groaned. "Follow me," she said. The animals marched slowly behind her. "We're done for," said Porcupine. "All libraries have rules," said the librarian sternly. Bunny's whiskers trembled, Porcupine's back bristled, and Bear eyed the door. Bunny stepped forward to take the blame. The librarian leaned down. "The first rule is every book lover must have one of these." And she handed Bunny and his friends shiny new library cards. "Now you may borrow books, as long as you return them, of course." Bunny couldn't believe his ears. They could keep coming to the library. Beaming to his fellow readers, he bounced to the shelves and picked the perfect book. And he proudly checked out the very first official selection for Bunny's book club. The end. Now you can go back and join your parents, and those of you online can click to the link to get to your faith formation class.
So today, we will welcome not only new members who have joined since the pandemic has kept us apart, but also those who joined before this time but were not able to participate in a joining ceremony. I'm imagining we'll have some people here, maybe some people in our Zoom room, but we don't have anybody in the Zoom room who's joined, but I'm going to name all the folks, ask Cheryl Guy, who's our membership team leader, to come join me up front and help me with roses and a certificate. And we'll name aloud the newest members. And if you are here present, we'll have you come forward, and Julie's gonna help make sure you get your name signed officially in the membership book. So first of all, Rachel Lasowitz, Dan Clark, Robin Clark, Pat Senecal, Paul Senecal, Judith Stone, Carol Grieger. I did see Carol. Do you want to come forward, please? Robert Bogner, Terry Rearman, Brenda Huffman. Just stand right here, great. And Brenda, and Robert Bridges, and Catherine Bauer. Sorry, it's probably fine the way it is. All right, so, and I bet you didn't bring these, so why don't you share those? Let me see if I have some more. Whoops. Great. Oh, good, Robert. Good, you've got one. All right, now let's, and now I guess that was foolish of me to give away my copy, because now I can't lead you. How about we say together, congregation will reply. In the bonds of fellowship and love, we unite to cultivate reverence, to promote spiritual growth and ethical commitment, to minister to each other's needs and to those of humanity, to celebrate the sacred moments of life's passage, and to honor the holiness at the heart of being. And now, members and friends of the congregation, will you please rise, turn toward the center so our newest folks feel enveloped, and reply with the words that are then listed. Welcome. And so now we'll invite you to come all the way forward by Julie. How about if you follow me and stop on the way, and Cheryl's will, so come forward and receive your certificate. Normally you'd get a hug too, but you're going to come around this way and Julie will help you with a membership book. Okay, Catherine, welcome. Oh, she is? Okay. Terry? Okay, you can deliver hers. I like your hair. Oh, good. Welcome, welcome. Following the service, we'll have cake and coffee and lemonade. Okay, and water all together. So please join us following the service. Thank you so much. And Judith Stone has just joined us online. So Judith is another one where it was a bit confusing because she came and then she moved. So then she resigned, but then she came back. So we're so glad. Same with Terry. Terry was a member, moved away, came back, rejoined. Okay.
We have a responsive reading today. Number 442 in the gray hymnal, and you're invited to stand and body your spirit to say the words in italics. For those of you on Zoom, we have the words in the chat box if you join us as well. This is called We Bid You Welcome, and it's by Richard S. Gilbert. We bid you welcome who come with weary spirit seeking rest. We bid you welcome who come with hope in your heart. We bid you welcome who are seekers of a new faith. We bid you welcome who entered this hall as a homecoming. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey. Thank you. You may be seated.
A couple decades ago, a new book was published in which the central character was one we claim as a religious forebear, Michael Servetus. Servetus's The Christianismi Restituti Restitio there, a heretical work of biblical scholarship, was written in 1553, and it was aimed to refute the Orthodox Christianity that Servetus's old colleague, John Calvin, supported. Servetus was burned at the stake with his book attached to his leg. This book, now it's about 20 years ago, Out of the Flames, the book that talks about Servetus, not only unravels the detailed explanation of the politics of the time of the Reformation, but how the invention of the printing press gave rise to the spread of ideas and the power of those ideas and the enduring legacy of books and of individual courage. For Unitarian Universalism, this particular theological heresy was one of the early elements that led to the later beginning of our movement, both in Europe and then another half century later in America. Both our current third and fourth principle, and I like it written in its simpler language, speak to the importance of these values in our religious tradition today. We say, we believe that we should accept one another and keep on learning together. And we believe that each person must be free to search for what is true and right in life. Our faith is not only open to these values, but urges us to act upon them. Early on in my ministry, when looking for a summer worship topic, I experimented with this take on the popular flower communion, that beloved service that reminds us that it is our unique gifts that make us the faith community that we are. We are all needed here. The book communion, with its similar giving and receiving, reminds us similarly that our shared love of learning is a gift to each other and to the whole. We each have something for another, and together we create community. Our seventh principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, may remind us of Earth's lifeboat, or that the web of life needs all of the strings. I hope in your journeys you'll look for a copy of Out of the Flames, the book that I talked about printing presses, the courage of Michael Servetus, and the power of ideas. I see that title a lot at used book sales. And also, I hope you'll take a look at the online UUA bookstore. It's called In Spirit. It offers the newest in meditation manuals, the August pick for the UU Book Club, and other titles to deepen your faith and understanding. But let's get to our immediate work. The New York Times has a regular column called By the Book, in which writers are queried on literature and the literary life. A regular feature of the column is that questions are posed to them, questions that would make good conversation starters for any of us. The diversity of the answers, as well as the similarities, tell us something about the individual, but also about our community. We will try to create the opportunity for sharing and learning right here. In order not to hear all of your responses at the same time, I'll kind of go around the room, both the sanctuary and online, to invite you to give your answers aloud. And you might want to write down what others say for your reference. Okay, first we'll do the first question. What's on your nightstand? So I'm going to walk through and invite you to answer that question, and I'll make my way. And then last, I think I might have Shannon Can the folks online talk to us this way? Okay, so we'll go this way and then online, and then I'll do the next question, okay? So I'm gonna put my mask on since I'm coming down there. What's on your nightstand? So if you're gonna tell us, just leave your mic, your mask on, but speak up since you don't have a mic. Okay, I'll first start here in this row. Anybody want to share what's on your nightstand? What is it? Hope for today. Education. I should bring that. Maybe Bonnie can help me because then you can't hear. Microphone? What did we do with it? Oh, it's right there. Okay, Bonnie's going to try to hold the microphone so you can say it into the microphone. Let's, Stephen?
Education of an idealist.
Soul of the octopus.
Cast. The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama.
A book by Jojo Moyes, but I don't remember the name.
Deep Creek, Finding Hope in the High Country by Pam Houston.
The Swerve.
The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. Bunny Love.
The Sound of Neptune.
I like Dragon Masters.
The Midnight Library.
Dwellings by Linda Hogan, Meditations on Nature.
Emotional Intelligence 2.0. About a boy.
The Mexican Mind.
Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Braiding Sweetgrass.
I don't know. Johnny Cash. The Plot.
Poems by Mary Oliver.
Single Shard.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Heartberries, which is a memoir by a Canadian First Nation.
Foundations of English Grammar.
The Poetry of Insects.
Once I Was You by Maria Hinojosa.
A book about Russell Box's life by our own Judith Stone.
Braiding Sweetgrass also.
How to Change Your Mind, Colin.
The Dine Reader.
Eager, The Life of Beavers.
Raise your hand if you have it, so Bonnie doesn't. Just raise
Neil deGrasse Tyson's book on cosmic queries, and also I'm reading a book by Dan Abrams about the trial of Jack Ruby.
Several books on climbing as well as Mary Oliver books.
The Education of an Idealist.
Richard Dawkins and Isaac Asimov, 2 books.
Gut Feelings.
The First 3 Minutes After the Big Bang.
Braiding Sweetgrass and The Book Thief.
The Kabul Beauty School.
Daisy Jones and the Six, and Black Swan, the Impact of the Improbable.
The Wizard and the Prophet.
Blood and Mistletoe by Ronald Hutton.
A Man Called Ove.
The Bible for the first time.
By Pema Chodron.
I've got Rachel Maddow's new book on Spiro Agnew.
Nope, we're all set.
Grading
The Hollow by
Sweetgrass,
Agatha Christie.
Grading Sweetgrass and Four Winds, Kristen Hill.
Nice. The next question, and let's see, we'll ask you, Bonnie and I will do outside and inside, and raise your hand if you want to answer this one. The next question is, what was your favorite book as a child? Okay, so we'll do the same way. Bonnie will do this side, I'll do this side. Raise your hand. Favorite book as a child?
Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. The Complete Sherlock Holmes.
Fury, about a horse.
Gone with the Wind.
The BFG.
The Boxcar Children. Little Women and Heidi.
Great Expectations.
The Nancy Drew series.
Anne of Green Gables.
Daily meditations that went with the Bible for middle schoolers.
Hatchet.
Magic Shares books.
Smokey by Will James.
Heidi.
The Five Little Peppers and How They Grew.
The complete books of Hans Christian Andersen and the Grimm's Brothers.
All the books by Albert Payson Terhune about dogs, like Lad the dog.
The Education of Little Tree.
The Hardy Boys series.
The Hobbit.
Tom Swift.
Laura Ingalls Wilder's books.
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Call of the Wild by Jack London.
Russian
Beauty.
Wonder Tales.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Black Beauty.
Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
Half Magic. The Little Engine That Could.
All of the mini books in the Oz series.
Little Farmer Boy.
Okay, last,
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller. Okay, last time around. This time, what book most influenced you? Probably Braiding Sweetgrass, because that got the most. Raise your hand if you have that to share.
Sand County Almanac.
The Fourth Turning, The History of American Generations.
The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron.
Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda.
Yeah. Braiding Sweetgrass.
Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Books in my 20s like This Bridge Called My Back.
The Tao of Pooh.
The Tao Te Ching.
The Eliminate Guide to Surviving in the Wild.
Ishmael.
The Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
How the West Was Won, the book and the movie.
Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott.
Ram Dass, How to Help. Tales of Don Juan by Carlos Castaneda.
Will and Ariel Durant, History of the Universe in 10 volumes.
Mountains Beyond Mountains.
Oh, I'm sorry. My Side of the Mountain.
Diet for a Small Planet.
I have a journal shop by Ira Progoff.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism by Chokan Trungpa.
Cinderella Complex.
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Cutting for Stone.
Siddhartha.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, everyone. How did you write those all down? My homiletics professor was commissioned years back to write a hymn for our UU congregation in Ann Arbor's 125th anniversary. And let us close with those words, and then we'll give you instructions of how we're going to invite you into the communion. He said, "Praise the source of faith and learning that has sparked and stoked the mind with a passion for discerning how the world has been designed. Let the sense of wonder flowing from the wonders we survey keep our faith forever growing and renew our need to pray. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen." Okay, Bonnie, I'm going to let you explain how we're doing this.
So Marta and Susanna, would you come up about halfway into the aisle here? And Tom Miller is going to be at the book station over here. Anna, would you take the one back over that way? Oh, Cheryl, nope, you can do that. Cheryl is over there, Anna there, and I'll take this one. So you're going to be in 4 groups coming up at the same time to get a book at your particular station. So all of you folks who are here, they're sitting in the rows right in front of Marta are going to be one group, and you're going to be going to Tom's station. Right behind Marta, you're going to be going over there to Cheryl's station. Behind Susanna, we'll go to see Anna. And those of you in front of Susanna will come over here to meet me. To keep it flowing, there's going to be 4 loops. So for the back section, when Marta says go, your row right along where Marta is will go down this way along the wall to see Cheryl, pick a book, come back in a loop around. Those of you in front of Marta, your back row will come around over to this station and around. Those of you who are by Anna, that row, that's the first of her last row, will go around and loop this way. And those of you here, you're going to go right where Susanna is, come around to the station and go back this way and just keep going. And then parents, as soon as who have children with them, as soon as you've gotten your book, please bring your child up here and help them in selecting a book that they would like. Okay. Hopefully that's all clear. It'll work out. Trust me. Okay.
I think that worked pretty well. It was an experiment. We didn't have a giant kind of backup right here up front. But maybe some books had more people and less books, some sections. There are plenty of books left. Lots in this corner, and maybe we can even carry them outside afterwards so you can take your time and not feel rushed to find a book. So we'll bring them out there afterwards. And please take home, if you see 2 more that you love, take them with you. We'd love you to have them.
Our offering words to our church can be made 4 different ways. Placing your offering in the basket if you're here in person, or you can mail a check to the church office, donate on the website, or text your donation. These words from Unitarian Universalist leader Kayla Parker capture the deep gratitude that we feel for your gifts which support our church. We know that our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We are so grateful for this, and we commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could have done alone. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation. May we give in love and in hope. Would the ushers please come forward?
The book I'm not reading is riveting. The book I'm not reading keeps me up at night. The book I'm not reading is better than TV, giving me insight. The book I'm not reading is history. The book I'm not reading is by some paperback writer. The book I'm not reading is a mystery. Who done it don't matter. Oh, I need someone to read me stories. Oh, someone to turn the page. Oh, the endless quest for love and glory. Oh, does not fade away with age. The book I'm not reading is an ancient tome. The book I'm not reading was born yesterday. The book I'm not reading keeps me off the phone with nothing to say. The book I'm not reading is the self-help kind. The book I'm not reading has a life jacket enclosed. The book I'm not reading is a friend of mine. God knows we need those. Someone to read me stories. Oh, someone to turn the page. Oh, the endless quest for love and glory. Oh, does not fade away with age. The book I'm not reading is on the internet. The book I'm not reading is a brand new movie. The book I'm not reading isn't out yet, and it's all new to me. The book I'm not reading isn't written down. The book I'm not reading is an English translation. The book I'm not reading should be read aloud, and I'm getting impatient. to read me stories. Oh, someone to turn the page. Oh, the endless quest for love and glory. Oh, does not fade away with age. Does not fade away.
Your gifts are gratefully received.
We're going to sing 354 as our closing hymn. You get to hum verses 1 and 3. If you get confused, we won't know.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing along. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need those friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found our need to be together. We have our hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. Our lives are full of wonder and our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills with pain and grief. But as we live, so shall we die. And when our lives are done, the memories we shared with friends, they will linger on and on. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a place to be together. We have the right to grow. We have the gift to believe that peace within our living is an answer. As we prepare to close our service day, just remember that our membership team is treating us out on the patio just after. And for those of you online, there's a social breakout room. We encourage you especially to take a moment to visit with our new members today.
In the hymn I mentioned earlier, Praise the Source of Faith and Learning, Tom Troger was my homiletics professor. The hymn writer concludes with these thoughts that will serve as the words to send us on our way. Praise for minds to probe the heavens, praise for strength to breathe the air, praise for all that beauty leavens, praise for silence, music, prayer, praise for justice and compassion, and for strangers, neighbors, friends. Praise for hearts and lips to fashion, praise for love that never ends. Go in peace. and enjoy each other's company on the patio.